Guys, what's going on? And today, again, we're watching Cinema Sins, and today, also, we are going to be watching Everything Wrong with Kung Fu Panda 2. Let's go! Subscribe to Cinema Sins and spoilers.
I appreciate the movie era-specific DreamWorks logo, but Oogway is dead. Does this mean the normal DreamWorks fishing kid on the moon is also dead and a ghost?
Long ago,
Airy shit.
what had brought color and joy could also bring darkness and destruction.
This movie suggests gunpowder was invented in the pursuit of pure joy. Also, huge important expositional backstory told quickly via narration and flashbacks cliche.
What had brought color and joy could also bring darkness and destruction.
That's true, but really only when the thing bringing color and joy is also made of explosives. I'd be really impressed if he had weaponized, say, a rainbow or metal flowers.
He would be defeated by a warrior of black and white.
I'm guessing in Kung Fu Panda 3, Po will fulfill some other prophecy, making him the Dexter fulfilling Chinese prophecies.
The young lord set out to change his fate. But what he did next only sealed it.
That's the lesson Shifu learned in the first movie in 2008, and what Oedipus learned in the 5th century BC. This lesson is a very old storytelling device, is what I'm saying. Horrific panda genocide is firmly implied, but completely glossed over. According to this story, a crazy son who mastered the dark arts of gunpowder and killed all the pandas will simply turn around and leave when his happy fireworks choy-choy parents banish him. Where is he hiding out? Well, Doom? If America still had a strong steel industry, movies wouldn't be so quick to characterize factories as places of evil.
And then the Dragon Warrior joined the Furious Five. And then
Po joined the Furious Five. What does that make them now? The Ridiculous Six.
the most awesome.
These movies are obsessed with the word awesome, plus 10 sins for never cracking open a thesaurus. No one else is as impressed as I am with Poe's ability to speak with large quantities of food in his mouth.
You'll save those for me, right?
I sure as hell hope so. He shoved basically all of them in his mouth. Does Inner Peace also give you the ability to alter the properties of space and time? If not, then what kung fu power is allowing him to apparate from one location to another?
Some choose to meditate for 50 years in a cave just like this, without the slightest taste of food or water.
Those are the masters who died.
Though the day you were chosen as Dragon Warrior was the worst day of my life.
Shifu knows how to eat. When we think of all the things that have happened to Shifu, his adopted son that he trained to be the Dragon Warrior wasn't the Dragon Warrior, and he went crazy and tried to kill everyone, and then he came back and tried to kill him. Also, his master being carried away by peach tree leaves, and so on. Saying this is pretty low.
Bandits approaching the musicians' village.
A whole village of musicians? Those bandits aren't going to steal much more than empty pizza boxes and some rolling papers. Crane's ability to fly, even when he is carrying an inconceivable amount of weight, is so fucking impressive I have trouble believing it. Is this rabbit warning every one of the attackers before they arrived? Was he able to see them through the dense fog and what I can only imagine is a Peter Pan-style flying pirate ship? If not, the timing of all this seems off. I hope this is the same rabbit from the first scene of the last movie that was high as because he looks a heck of a lot better here, but still looks high as
Get all the metal you can find!
What is he talking to? He's definitely not within earshot of any of his hyena bandit friends, and did they not already know what the plan was before conducting this mission? I feel like this guy/dog just likes to hear himself talk.
Phenomenal!
Is there anyone in the group confused about what they're trying to accomplish? Why do they keep repeating what they should all know they're here to do? Good work, Poe. Warn them that you're coming. They're doing a lot of standing around for a group of dogs that just need some metal to finish their fleet of cannons. Shin would be pissed if he found out they were hanging around picking fights when they could easily head back with the metal. But one image opens up a cavalcade of buried traumatic memories cliché. Also, Poe's flashback is still inexplicably two-dimensional. So earlier when he said get all the metal you can find, he forgot to also say so we can throw most of it off this cliff.
Thank you for coming to Dragon Warrior Noodles and Tofu.
Stage parents.
He once waited on me. Awesome. Yeah, I have a stage to prove it.
Wasn't this the dick pig from the last movie that made fun of Poe? Now he's a smug dick pig.
Well, you see, son, baby geese come from a little egg.
Is Ping really trying to tell Poe he is a goose? Besides him being obviously a panda, all the other animals have referred to him as panda countless times. Denial must run deep for Ping.
Might have been kind of adopted.
Listen up, adoptive parents. Waiting this long to tell your child they're adopted is not cool. Then again, we also need to send Poe for somehow believing he could look like he does and be called Panda, but still be descended from skinny birds. Ping's flashbacks are not two-dimensional, so this problem is clearly isolated to Poe. Also, adoption backstory no one cares about. Poe is the only mammal who was raised without the need for milk. No wonder he's the Dragon Warrior. This is the only time in recorded history a conspicuous trail of food has not ended in a box propped up on a stick. Why is he just lightly chewing on that dumpling instead of eating it whole like the other ones he just had? Maybe he's full, but Poe is never full. Never being full must be a skill he he learns later in life. Feeding and bathing a creature in the same container.
Try to put some pants on you.
Those aren't even goose pants. That's just a small blanket. What is Ping's plan here? Maybe he's just telling Poe about the pants, but remembering a time when he tried to wipe his ass.
And then I made a decision that would change my life forever. To make my soup without radishes.
I don't think that was a decision as much as it was Poe ate all the radishes. But if he was being truthful, we wouldn't have this forced, unapologetic misdirection.
What's up, please? Dragon Warrior size. I just have so many questions. Why didn't I like pants?
Because Ping didn't know the difference between pants and small blanket.
He was like,
Did Lord Shen just use the Force? Gently waving your wing in someone's general direction doesn't seem very kung fu to me. Maybe the guards are those easily startled narcoleptic goats.
Yes, did you see the peacock on the front door?
I guess he can get away with a statement when there is only one living peacock in this universe.
It seems your fortune-telling skills are not as good as you thought.
The villain with an upper-class English accent cliché, arguably the best of all accent clichés. It's no southern accent equals stupid, but it's up there. Did this rhino carve those patterns onto his horn? Or is that just how they're built in this world? I want to believe he carved it himself, because that is hardcore.
Show off.
Speaking of show-offs, he would have been able to use this cannon a lot sooner if he didn't bother to have it carved in the shape of a dragon. For a flightless bird, Shen is frightfully flightful. An additional sin for making me accidentally make up a word and coming up with a tongue twister. Some situations require a little less kung fu and a little more getting out of the fucking way.
Son of legendary flying rhino?
Did anyone else just imagine a rhino with wings flying through the air, dipping in and out of the clouds, having the time of his life? Because I sure did.
I mean, how can kung fu stop something that stops kung fu?
Movie unintentionally tries to break your brain. How did Ping know to pack him a travel pack? Did he know they were going to fight Shen before they did? Are all the bird species secretly evil and subservient to Lord Shen? Man, Kung Fu Panda 3 is going to be interesting. Also, Poe's dad vastly underestimates how much Poe eats, somehow.
And that's me giving you a piggyback ride.
This is a painting. Did Poe have to sit on Ping's back, causing him excruciating pain while someone painted this?
Don't worry, Mr. Ping. He'll be back before you can say noodles.
That is decidedly false. He probably would be less tired if he wasn't carrying that travel pack. No one else has a travel pack. Football. The animators in this fix you no longer need mattresses or pillows. They should call it chiropractic food. Poe hasn't eaten all these potatoes yet. Where did this boat come from? This is the first time they're actually using some mode of transportation instead of just leaping incredible distances. Probably had the boat all along, and Monkey remembered that they had the boat and said, "Remember how we're always just jumping everywhere? Why don't we use that boat that we have on the outskirts of town?" And everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, the boat." We don't see this because Jackie Chan isn't allowed to talk in this movie either. How did he only wake up Tigress? The rest of the five are pretty heavy sleepers.
I used to punch the ironwood trees by the palace to train. Now I feel nothing.
Which would also explain why she has such giant hands.
Oh, why are you really out here?
Besides the fact that he's definitely the Dragon Warrior and it's his job, you mean?
Your dad, the goose. That must have been quite a shock.
I probably made the jerk joke for the first movie, but it bears repeating. I'm amazed that Mantis has made it this long without getting squashed. If I felt something walk all over me like that, I would involuntarily swat at it, even if it was one of my friends.
Poe's having daddy issues.
What is it with the characters in this movie being arbitrarily and unnecessarily cruel? I get the symbolism here, and how this is a slap in the face to his father and all, but now he has nowhere to sit. He should have at least brought his own throne. And they replaced the chair with the cannon? Not only does Shen no longer have a place to sit, he has a giant cannon in his throne room that he will eventually have to move again, because that's a cannon, and it does no good just sitting in the middle of a room.
30 years I've waited for this moment.
According to the internet, peacocks only live for about 15 years, but if he's partially made of metal, I'm willing. Hey, this movie is making me learn again! Damn you, Kung Fu Panda 2!
No, just say what's happening right now!
He's not talking to me, is he?
A peacock is defeated by a warrior of black and white.
Did no one during the development of this movie tell them what yin and yang actually mean? It's about how opposite or contrary forces are actually complementary, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with the panda defeating a peacock in battle. It was a recognizable Chinese symbol that they just threw in. A whole blart panda. Even now he's a kung fu master, he still has some major issues with self-control. Even with Poe causing all this commotion, the wolves still didn't notice that Poe is walking around the city streets. Obvious Pac-Man reference is obvious, and not enough to save this movie. They are surrounded by wolves, yet they're still able to get out from under the costume and into the barrels without anyone seeing them. Maybe they've all mastered that apparating skill that Shifu showed off earlier in this movie. They gave the wolves no time to get away. There's no way they could have been far enough away from them to not hear them get up, start walking, and Poe get stuck and fall down, making even more noise. Also, there was a conveniently sized bucket for Mantis.
Look, Gungman Jail.
And they conveniently happened upon the jail they were looking for.
I'll give you a signal. Gaga! Kiki!
You mean like Crane does?
Yeah.
Excuse me, when have I ever made that noise?
I hate it when the characters sin the movie in the movie. Makes me feel so unnecessary.
Then the weapon would kill everyone.
Movie borrows mysterious super weapon of death from all the movies.
Kung Fu is dead.
Hey, my, Kung Fu can never die.
Monkey! Caca!
Monkey continuing to be pointless. He is like the Ringo Starr of the Furious Five. How are the Furious Five, a group that frequently runs and leaps impossibly, not able to quickly catch up with this rickshaw driven by a short-legged goat? Those rabbit children not scared out of their minds, flying up to the street on a strange panda, which to them is an animal they've never seen before. Did their parents not teach them about stranger danger? Movie steals the mine car scene from Indiana Jones and the Deathly Hallows. I mean, Harry Potter and the Temple of Doom. You know what I mean.
It feels like I'm fighting a big old fluffy cloud!
Okay, it's official. This guy totally has a panda fetish. These animals have very little regard for King's Landing.
8-point acupressure cuffs? Just like the ones in the Hell Tai Lung.
Hey, blink and you'll miss it. Call back to the previous film sin of why bother with this 40 minutes in. Bad guy is practicing his meet the captured good guy greeting, as though he's a good guy, when he's actually a bad guy whose soldiers captured the good guy. Guy, did they set up a memorial for the guy that they very intentionally killed? I mean, that's nice, but kind of odd to seem mournful for someone they murdered. The cannon that was so heavy the two giant gorillas didn't want to move it 2 inches to the left flies up into the air with little effort after Tigress jumps on the front of it. And then Mantis, who is light as a sheet of paper, is able to kick it through.
We'll get a part 2 tomorrow. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.